All right, good evening. Tonight's video notes is under the topic of osmosis in chapter 17.3, or excuse me, 7.3. And the essential question is, can you describe the process of osmosis? So you don't have to write this down, just the highlighted information is what's important to get into your notes. But let's review the two different ways that materials can move across the membrane. There's passive transport, which involves facilitated diffusion, and simple diffusion, so no energy required for these two. And this is the movement of solutes through the membrane, like gases, salts, sugars, proteins. And then the other type of passive transport that we're talking about tonight is osmosis, which is the transport of water, specifically water, through the membrane. So again, this doesn't require energy either. Remember, the types that do require energy are active transport, endocytosis and exocytosis, and that's using these solute, or that's the movement of these solutes through the cell membrane using energy. So osmosis is the diffusion of water through the selectively permeable membrane. So it could be any membrane, but specifically in this unit in biology, we're talking about the cell membrane. And so the important thing to note is that water, the direction that it moves in, it moves to an area where the solute concentration is higher. So that's the direction that the water is going to move towards. So there's three different solutions in osmosis. So there are hypotonic solutions, and that's when you have a lower solute concentration on the outside of the cell. So water moves into the cell. So this causes the cell to swell and sometimes burst. So let's take a look at this picture down here. The solute concentration inside the cell is higher than outside the cell. So the water is going to move into the cell to try to balance out the concentration of water. So again, the water moves towards the area that has a higher concentration of the solutes. And so this causes the cell to swell up and even sometimes burst, which can be damaging to cells of an organism. Hypertonic solution is the opposite. This is when there's a higher concentration of solute outside the cell, and so water moves out of the cell, and this causes the cell to shrivel up and shrink because there's not any of that water inside to keep the structure. So when there's more solutes outside of the cell than inside the cell, water is going to move out of the cell towards the area that has higher concentration of solutes, and it's going to cause the cell to shrink and shrivel. Now the last one, isotonic solutions, is referring to solutions where the solute concentration are both on same side, or the same on both sides of the cell. And so water moves in and out equally in both directions. So if this solute concentration is equal on the outside as it is on the inside of the cell, water is going to move equally in and out. So it's not going to cause any damage to the cell. It's in that nice homeostasis. That's it for notes. There is no Google form tonight, so you do not have to figure out the Google form, but I do want you to answer these questions in your notes. So I've got three situations down here. These are red blood cells. These are cells that are inside your bloodstream. What I want you to do is for A, B, and C, describe what's happening in each one. Okay, so what type of solution is it? And then what's happening to the concentrations as far as solutes. So where are the solutes highest in concentration and lowest in concentration? That's all you have to do tonight. No Google form. See you tomorrow.